Cotton candy is basically pure sugar. And too much sugar causes cavities. Everybody knows that. So it might surprise you that this dentist invented cotton candy back in 1897. Today we're going to explore the history of cotton candy, a tale that will take us from dentistry's crude past to the 1904 St. Louis World Fair. By the end, we should be able to answer the obvious question: how could a dentist invent this? To start, let's paint a picture of what going to the dentist looked like in 1897.
Back then, you couldn't find a dentist by looking online or seeing an ad. One of your besties probably told you about one of them. In 1897, dentists were just figuring things out. So some knew what they were doing and some, well, not so much. They had stuff to make you not feel pain, like ether or chloroform, but most of the time they didn't use it. So if you had a bad tooth, you kind of just had to be brave and deal with it. And the tools they had? Not as cool as now. If your tooth hurt, they probably just pull it out. No messing around.
The crude state of dentistry at the time might explain why William James Morrison decided to spend his time inventing a machine to sell sugar on a stick, instead of practicing as a doctor. But why would a dentist even consider selling a sugary treat, you may ask? Didn't he know about cavities? The connection between sugar and cavities was already made by a British dentist in 1849, 50 years earlier. He found out that eating sugar causes the bacteria in your mouth to get super excited. All the excitement causes them to produce acid as a waste product. This acid is what actually harms your teeth. Unfortunately, even 50 years later, the idea was not widely accepted. When cotton candy was invented, they actually considered it to be a healthier alternative to traditional candy, because it was spun from pure sugar without any added ingredients. Our guy William either didn't even know about the cavity thing or simply did not believe the findings of his British colleague. Or maybe he did accept the findings and thought that selling a cavity-inducing treat might be the perfect opportunity to get more patients. We have to note here that William Morrison wasn't your average dentist. In 1894 he was actually the president of the Tennessee State Dental Association. You'd assume that the president of a state dental association would know about almost 50-year-old cavity research. What we do know for sure is that in 1897, William and his confectioner friend John C. Wartner produced a machine that they fittingly called electric candy machine. The machine melted sugar in a spinning chamber and then used air to force the melted sugar through a wire screen into the surrounding metal bowl. They called it fairy floss, but that name didn't stick anywhere except in Australia. I guess when you live in a land where spiders are as big as plates, you need something whimsical to lighten the mood. William and his friends spent the next 7 years to perfect the machine, which was very impressive for the time. You have to understand that at the cusp of the 20th century, electricity only recently became widely available. So when they went on to introduce the machine at the 1904 St. Louis World Fair, it was a massive success. One box was 25 cents and they sold a whopping 65,000 boxes. They made around $16,000 in a few days, which would be $500,000 in today's money. A street profit if you ask me. After the fair was over, they also started selling the electric candy machine at $100 a pop. If you consider now that the average dental salary of the time was a mere $1,000 for the whole year, it's no wonder that William Morrison quit dentistry and dedicated his life to his business pursuits. The name cotton candy was introduced shortly after in 1921. Interestingly enough, yet another dentist invented a similar candy machine, and his patent named the confection cotton candy. I'm half convinced that dental colleges had a hidden syllabus on confectionery engineering for the enterprising dentist. Why else would dentists be at the forefront of candy creation? Since then, cotton candy has come far from its not so humble beginnings. It spread quickly across the US in the years after the fair, fueled by the sales of the electric candy machine. Then other countries started producing similar machines and created new flavors and colors. It remains a staple at carnivals, fairs and amusement parks around the world and is also widely produced and sold commercially. So, that's the twisted story of cotton candy. We may never know if its invention was fueled by greed or a love for sugary treats. I'm sure that your current dentist won't be a big fan though. Even though cotton candy can be a fluffy cloud of joy, just remember to take care of your teeth after you've had some.